Hey guys, today I'm going to show you how I made my Mermaid Splash tumbler. This is Crystal with Emerson Aurora Design. I just want to say thank you so much for taking the time to click that button and watch my video. So this is a 25-ounce Hog Hydro Sport tumbler from Stainless Depot that I prepped and spray painted white. I'm going to do a tack it method here on this cup with this holographic glitter from Sparkly Memaw called Fairy Dust. It has a pretty holographic look to it. So to do the tack it method, you use Aleene's Tack It glue, and I'm going to squirt it into a cup and add just a little bit of water to thin it down. You can do 50-50, or I like to make it a little bit thicker with more glue than water, just enough to thin it down a little bit, and it helps to prevent lines in the glue. So your glitter doesn't look like it has lines. So I'm going to spread that over the cup and then sprinkle the glitter on, and you'll see the magic here in a minute. So be sure to add a thin layer of the glue to your cup, spread it evenly, try to wipe out as many of the lines as you can. This glue will dry and it'll become tacky, and that's where you can sprinkle your glitter on and then burnish the glitter to lay flat. It's just such a pretty glittering technique. It's very easy. You want to make sure that that glue is dry before you put your glitter down though. So my glue is dried and it's nice and tacky, and I'm going to just sprinkle the glitter all over the cup. Burnishing this glitter down makes the holographic just stand out into a rainbow. It's so pretty. It also helps with having to add less layers of resin when you cover, and you'll see here in a minute. This is my favorite part. I love burnishing my glitter down to see what the glitter looks like laying flat. What a difference this makes, doesn't it? Holographic and opaly and so beautiful. You can see that kind of laser effect that it has when the glitter's laying flat. You can use this technique with any glitter. Using the fine cut holographic, you will get that rainbow effect, which is beautiful. It looks different for every glitter that you use. You can use metallic, and it'll give a really pretty metallic sheen. So try it out, see what you like to do, but I wanted the rainbow for this one. So next on to our stencil. I made these mermaid scale stencils that I'm going to place on my cup. So I'm going to pull off the individual scales because I want the outline to be the stencil, if that makes sense. And then I'm going to paint over this to reveal mermaid scales over that pretty holographic glitter. Before I do place this down on my cup though, after that holographic glitter was on, I did resin my cup. So make sure you don't skip that step so that it doesn't pull up your glitter in your paint. So I'm not going to go too much in depth with the wrap of this stencil on my cup. I did go a little more in depth in my previous video of the Mood Ring Mermaid Cup. So if you want to see how I place this stencil down on my cup a little bit more in detail, you can watch that video. I'm just going to let this play and you'll see how I wrap it, and we'll go on to the next step. So here's that pretty holographic glitter, and with one layer of resin over it. That's why it's so shiny. So make sure that you resin your cup and let it cure before the placing of this stencil. That's a very important step. So now back in my craft room, I'm going to take these different craft paints. They're just acrylic paints that I purchased from Michael's, different brands. I just chose the colors that I like. There's a soft pink, a baby blue, a golden yellow, and a lavender. I don't believe that I ended up using much of the lavender. If you use a yellow, pink, and blue, you can make the complementary colors. You can blend those together to form a rainbow. And you'll see what I do. What I'm doing is basically the method that we do for the unicorn burst tumbler. That was actually my idea for this tumbler. I wanted to do the unicorn glass tumbler, but with a twist. So of course I love mermaids, so I decided to do the Mermaid Splash instead of the unicorn burst. So I'm going basically in the same method that you would for the unicorn burst. I'm just alternating the yellow pink and blue on the cup in a swirl pattern, and then I'll go back and I will blend the two colors in between. The pink and the yellow will make an orange, and the pink and the blue would make a purple, and the blue and the yellow will make a green, just like we learned in art class. I'll let you watch this part. So as I'm blending, you can see that I'm taking half of my paintbrush will have one color on it, and the other half will have the opposite color. So half will have blue on it, half will have pink, and I'll swipe those over to make a purple. You can see that it is really making a pretty blend. And just remember that this is all going over top of that stencil that I made. I'm going to peel this up here in a minute, and you're going to see how beautiful this rainbow swirl is with the mermaid scales. It's just so satisfying. I let this dry almost completely. I'm going to peel that vinyl up when it's still, the paint's still a little bit tacky, because I didn't want the acrylic paint to pull up with the vinyl. And it actually worked out really well. I'm going to go back in later and I will clean up any over paint that the stencil didn't cover. Alright guys, let's see what this beautiful cup's going to reveal to us as I peel up that vinyl. So I'm just cleaning up the top rim. I'm going to leave that the white holographic and just wipe off that paint. But look at this beautiful rainbow swirl, guys. It is absolutely gorgeous. So on to my next layer of epoxy. I want to lock in that paint. So I'm going to put a thin layer of epoxy on here and I'm going to let that cure. This is a quick set epoxy, so it cures dry to the touch in about 4 to 6 hours. I'm going to let that cure and then I'll be on to the next step, which is one of my new favorites, the Dawn Power Wash. Okay guys, it's 5 degrees here in Indiana, so I'm doing this quick. I'm going to spray my Dawn Power Wash on the center portion of the cup because I want that to stay the rainbow, and then I'm going to spray my Rust-Oleum 2 times white matte paint on the ends. That'll make it look like bubbles or foam from the ocean, hence the Mermaid Splash. So I'm going to spray this and I'm going to dart into the house and rinse it off in my sink because I couldn't use my hose, so you won't see me rinsing it off. And here it is after it's dried. I'm going to take a little rubbing alcohol and clean up the center part of that cup. There was a little bit of overspray on there and I just want the rainbow to really show through. I'm also lightly going over the areas where I did spray paint just to take off the haze from the spray paint. If you don't rub too hard and too long with that rubbing alcohol, it shouldn't remove too much. Just be careful. Be a little bit light-handed on those portions that you don't want removed. So on to my next level of epoxy. And you can leave the cup here if you like it like this. It is very pretty. But I like to make it a little step further, and of course I need to add some bling because I love glitter so much. So I'm going to go ahead and put a thin layer of resin on here and add a little sparkle and shine, almost like a Milky Way style to this. I want it to look like the mermaid tail is like swirling in the ocean, the foam of the ocean. So that's the kind of look I'm going for. So I'm going to take some different cuts of glitter, some chunky, some fine, and just kind of swirl them on there here in just a minute, and also use a little mica powder to create a swirl effect. And I'll list these glitters below in the description, so just enjoy. I chose a pearl mica powder to add into my resin to create the swirls. I wanted to choose one that was a true pearl effect. So it doesn't have any shift to it or anything. It's just straight pearl. It looks really pretty. I'll let you watch this part. If you've never used mica in resin before, try it out because it really adds a different layer of depth and to your cup. You know, try different methods, try different, you can drizzle it on there, you can rub it on there. It's just, I don't know, I love micas, and just have fun with it, you know. Go with what looks good and what makes you smile. So isn't that pretty? So once this cup was, the resin hardened, I was looking at it and I realized I didn't leave enough foam look. So I went back outside and I did the Dawn Power Wash again. I wanted to have a little more distinctive white on the top and bottom, and then that way the swirl, the glitter, and the micas would all be underneath that foam look. So that's the design I ended up going with in the end. You can kind of see it a little better now. But this did add a layer of depth that is really neat, and I'm happy with this cup now. Well, here's the final product. This cup is so pretty and I love looking at it. There's so much depth. You can still see the holographic white underneath those scales, and then the mica swirls and the seafoam looking spray paint. I really hope you guys give this one a try. I think it turned out beautiful. I hope you do think it did too. I want to say thank you so much for taking the time to watch my video. If you like it, hit subscribe and I'll have more coming your way. Hit that like button, and I love to see and hear from all of you lovely crafters the ideas you have, and I'd love to see your own take on this cup. Thank you so much, and happy crafting, you guys.